Welcome to Unwritten, stories from Snugly.cloud, where each tale unfolds with every choice. Settle in and let the narrative guide you.
Search the creature's fallen form for any clues or resources. Check if its blood is some kind of acid.
You approach the creature's heaving form cautiously, pulse pistol raised and knife still gripped, ready for any last desperate move. The thick, dark fluid puddling beneath it smokes faintly where it meets the grating beneath your boots. Drawing a scrap of cloth from your sleeve, you dab the viscous blood and lift it an inch above the floor. The droplets hiss softly, bubbling against the fabric, acidic, corrosive enough to eat through the cloth in moments. This isn't just any alien predator. Its blood could burn through your suit or skin, a deadly hazard for the unwary. With a grimace, you wipe your knife clean on your sleeve, careful not to scrape the wound further. No packs or supplies are strapped to the creature, only misshapen flesh and the eerie intelligence in eyes now flickering dim. Resources: pulse pistol partially charged, medkit 1, combat knife needs careful handling, flashlight, steady, adrenal stimulant, used, rations. Health bruised, cautious of contamination. Trust, still alone. The hum of the control console calls you back to urgent reality.
Carefully retreat to the chamber exit, wary of other dangers lurking nearby.
You steel yourself, stepping backward slowly from the fallen creature's acidic blood-stained form. Every movement is deliberate, careful, knowing one wrong step or contact could corrode your suit or worsen your injuries. The chamber's stale air weighs heavily as your flashlight beam scans the surrounding shadows for any sign of lurking threats. For now, silence answers, but the sharp scrape of metal echoes faintly somewhere deeper in the station. A whisper of the predator's kin or another lurking horror. Your muscles ache, senses razor-tuned for sudden movement. The vaulted gateway of the chamber yawns before you, its bulkhead door leading to a labyrinth of corridors dark and uncertain. Resources: pulse pistol partially charged, medkit 1, combat knife, bloodied, dangerous to handle, flashlight, steady, adrenal stimulant, used, rations. Health: cautious, some bruises, potential contamination avoided. Trust done. Your next move could mean escape or deeper peril.
Head toward the control console once more to try restoring communications or power.
You steel your resolve and turn back toward the flickering control console, the chamber's mechanical hum growing louder as you near. The screens glitch erratically, but beneath the static, you detect faint traces of system life. Enough to hope the station isn't completely dead yet. Your fingers deftly navigate menus, attempting to bring online communications and stabilize power flows. The display blinks with tentative progress, the hum shifting from unstable static to a steadier tone. Suddenly, a distorted voice crackles through the speakers, fragmented, garbled but unmistakably human. A breathless warning cut short, but pounding with urgency. There, don't trust, contamination, danger, evacuate now. Your heart clenches as the message fades, leaving a cold silence behind. Resources: pulse pistol partially charged, medkit 1, combat knife, flashlight, steady, adrenal stimulant, used, rations. Health: worn but alert. Trust: confirmation of at least one other survivor, though their identity and condition remain unknown. The station's labyrinthine corridors pulse faintly with renewed power, yet the lurking menace has only grown more real.
Try to respond back through the comms to establish contact with the survivor.
Your fingers tremble slightly as you activate the console's microphone, voice steady despite the ache in your chest. This is Officer Harris. You call into the eerie silence beyond the speakers. I hear you. Who are you? Where are you? We need to coordinate. A crackle, then a garbled response. Fragments of words, a trembling voice caught between fear and resolve. Pilot. Docking Bay 9, stay away. Not alone. Static swallows the last syllables. The message is fragmented but critical. A possible ally trapped somewhere deeper in the station, also terrified or perhaps worse. Resources: Pulse pistol partially charged, medkit 1, combat knife, flashlight, steady, adrenal stimulant used, rations. Health, worn but focused. Trust, faint hope sparks in the darkness. The flickering emergency lights dim and pulse with uneven rhythm, shadows stretching long and hungry.
Prepare your gear and move cautiously toward docking bay 9.
You take a steadying breath and secure your gear. Pulse pistol at the ready, combat knife sheathed but within easy reach, flashlight flicking steadily as you tuck the ration pack into your jacket. The adrenaline from before still hums faintly beneath your skin, sharpening your focus. The station's creaking metal bones groan around you as you begin to navigate toward docking bay 9. The corridors narrow, emergency lights sputtering intermittently and throwing harsh shadows against walls mottled with peeling paint and streaks of rust-colored grime. The scent of coolant leaks mingles with the unmistakable tang of ozone, faint evidence of damage or malfunction nearby. Every scrape or distant clang sets your nerves taut. You move carefully, eyes scanning dark corners and alcoves, flashlight beam broad but cautious, pulse pistol held ready for anything emerging from the shadows. For a moment, a whisper of distorted static flickers over the comms, a reminder that you are not alone, and that time is slipping through your fingers like the coolant mist settling over cold steel. Resources, pulse pistol partially charged, medkit 1, combat knife, flashlight, steady, adrenal stimulant used, rations. Health, worn but steady. Trust, fragile hope tethered to fragmented signals. Ahead, the corridor forks sharply near a utility junction. One path leads deeper into dim machinery halls, the other toward a heavy bulkhead marked with faded stencil lettering. Docking Bay 9 restricted access.
Take the path toward docking bay 9 through the heavy bulkhead.
You steel yourself for what lies beyond the bulkhead, the scuffed metal door cold and unyielding beneath your gloved hand. Its surface bears faded warnings and the telltale marks of hurried, desperate attempts to reinforce the barrier scratches, dents and hastily applied patches where the station's integrity once faltered. With a grunt, you activate the release mechanism. The door groans open, revealing the shadow-choked expanse of docking bay 9. The air here is thick with the metallic tang of disuse and something else. A faint undercurrent of movement brushes the edges of your senses, a whispered presence just beyond the reach of your flashlight's beam. Pallets of cargo topple in scattered heaps, illuminated only by emergency lights flickering like the final beats of a dying heart. The bay's cavernous scale swallows sound. Your footsteps echo unsettlingly as you advance, every step measured. A soft, distorted pulse crackles in your comms, another fragment of the survivor's voice, urgent and fragmented. Don't trust the shadows, Harris. Evacuation. Resources, pulse pistol partially charged, medkit 1, combat knife, flashlight, steady, adrenal stimulant used, rations. Health, worn, every muscle taut with tension. Trust, a fragile, trembling thread tying you to the unknown voice. Ahead, among the fractured cargo and twisting shadows, you detect movement. Something watches, waiting.
Move quietly toward the sound, hoping to avoid detection while closing the distance.
You lower your stance, knees slightly bent, and move forward with soft, deliberate steps grazing the grit-covered floor. The beam from your flashlight slices through the dock's heavy shadows, illuminating twisted crates and toppled cargo, but you keep the light focused low and tight to minimize your silhouette. Every faint shuffle, the scrape of loose debris, even the distant hiss of leaking coolant feels magnified in the oppressive quiet. The creature's presence, whatever it is, lingers just beyond reach, eyes unseen but keenly felt. A ragged inhale, then a broken whisper on your comms. Over here, hurry. The voice flickers like a dying candle, but the timbre carries unmistakable urgency. Ahead, behind a stack of overturned cargo containers, a faint outline shifts, too quick to be your imagination. Resources, pulse pistol partially charged, medkit 1, combat knife, flashlight, steady, adrenal stimulant used, rations. Health, alert to every nerve ending. Trust, fragile connection to the survivor growing more real. Your next move will decide whether this connection is salvation or a trap.
Ready your pulse pistol and prepare for immediate confrontation.
Every muscle coiled in anticipation, you raise your pulse pistol steadily, the familiar weight a small anchor amid the mounting dread. Your breath is shallow, ears straining to catch any sound beyond the whispering hum of the station's failing systems. The dark figure shifts again behind the cargo, quick, deliberate movements that suggest cautious survival rather than attack. The comms his faint reassurance. Fragmented words, Harris, over here. Don't come too close, it's near. A sudden scrape rings out from deeper shadows, an unmistakable chilling sound of claws dragged across metal, scraping slowly closer. Your pulse pistol's chamber hums faintly, a line of energy ready to flare. The balance between trust and terror hangs by the thinnest thread. Resources: pulse pistol partially charged, medkit 1, combat knife, flashlight, steady but restrained, adrenal stimulant used, rations. Health: steeled nerves poised for violence or alliance. Trust: hazardous but vital.
Call out clearly to the survivor, asking for their exact position while warning of the nearby threat.
Your voice cuts through the heavy silence like a lifeline. This is Harris. Where are you exactly? There's something else here, claws scraping metal. Stay back, keep hidden until I reach you. The figure's outline shivers, hesitant. The comms relay a shaky reply. Behind the cargo near the sealed airlock. Don't come any closer. The creature hunts in the shadows. I'm wounded. The scrape grows louder, closer, as a faint metallic clatter echoes off the walls. Something large moving with terrifying intent. Resources: pulse pistol partially charged, medkit 1, combat knife, flashlight low to avoid giving away position, adrenal stimulant used, rations. Health: edged by adrenaline and raw nerves. Trust: a fragile thread binding you to this wounded voice. The air thickens with tension as you weigh your options.
Fire a warning burst from the pulse pistol near the creature's presumed location to scare it off.
You pivot slightly, aiming the pulse pistol toward the scrape and clatter erupting beyond the cargo stacks. A sharp, concentrated blast fires into the dim space, sending a crackling shockwave that rattles loose panels and sparks electrical arcs from exposed wiring. The creature snarls, a raw, guttural sound that echoes through the docking bay, as it recoils sharply from the unexpected assault. You catch the brief flicker of glimmering eyes, then silence, broken only by distant mechanical groans. A moment's reprieve. Over comms, the survivor exhales raggedly. Thanks. I'm still here. But I can't hold much longer. Resources: pulse pistol partially charged but weakened, medkit 1, combat knife, flashlight, dim to reduce exposure, adrenal stimulant used, rations. Health: heart hammering but steady. Trust: survivor signals desperation and pain. The airlock to the survivor's location is still sealed and dark, but moving nearer may be your only chance.
Move cautiously toward the airlock to rescue the survivor.
You steady your breathing and edge forward, every movement deliberate and silent in the cavernous docking bay. The faint glow of emergency lights flickers overhead, casting long, wavering shadows that seem to reach and recoil with your steps. Your pulse pistol remains trained ahead, ready for any sudden attack. Ahead, the sealed airlock looms like a steel tomb, its surface scarred and cold to the touch. Beyond its reinforced viewport, you glimpse a faint outline, hunched and motionless. The survivor. Your hand reaches to the control panel, fingers trembling slightly as you initiate the airlock's manual override. The panel protests with a sudden flurry of sparks and groans, but after a tense moment, the heavy door slides open with a grudging hiss, revealing the cramped airlock chamber beyond. Inside, the survivor leans heavily against the bulkhead, their face pale and streaked with grime and blood. Their eyes meet yours, wide with pain but flickering with relief. "We don't have much time," they rasp. "That thing won't stay away for long." Resources: pulse pistol partially charged, medkit 1, combat knife, flashlight dim, adrenal stimulant used, rations. Health, on edge bruised but focused. Trust, tentative alliance forged in desperation.
Attempt to communicate with station security or rescue via the console inside the airlock.
You guide the survivor to the small console mounted inside the airlock, its screen flickering faintly with residual power. Fingers shaking, you activate its rudimentary interface, searching for any chance to contact station security or external rescue teams. The console chimes weakly, spitting out garbled messages and error codes. But with patient persistence, you manage to tap into the station's emergency comms array. Static hisses, then a strained voice breaks through. The voice of a surviving security officer, muddied but unmistakably human. This is Sergeant Ramirez responding: station breached, multiple casualties, hold position for extraction. ETA uncertain. Heavy quarantine enforced. The message cuts out abruptly, leaving a cold silence hanging between your ragged breaths. The station is alive but compromised. Support is uncertain, time is precious, and the creature's presence grows nearer. Resources: pulse pistol partially charged, medkit 1, combat knife, flashlight dim, adrenal stimulant used, rations. Health: fatigued but alert. Trust: fragile threads of hope entwined with grim reality.
Relay the message to the survivor and prepare to move toward an extraction point.
You relay Sergeant Ramirez's fragmented warning to the survivor, whose pale face tightens with grim resolve. Extraction is uncertain. We have to move quickly and quietly, or we'll be sitting ducks. Together, you gather whatever you can carry, limited supplies shaped by desperation, and prepare to navigate the twisted corridors toward the extraction point indicated on the station schematics. Every step you take is shadowed by unease. The scraping claws and whispered breaths in the dark are reminders that the creature, or whatever else, may already be stalking your trail. Resources: pulse pistol partially charged, medkit 1, combat knife, flashlight dim, adrenal stimulant used, rations limited. Health: weary senses sharpened by fear. Trust: a fragile bond between you and the survivor, born of shared peril. Ahead, the path forks into two dimly lit maintenance corridors, one route marked as emergency exit, the other leading toward cryo bay, and potentially, a safer refuge.
Take the route toward the cryo bay, hoping for shelter and recovery supplies.
You nod to the survivor and steer toward the cryo bay, hoping for sanctuary amid the frozen stillness and perhaps supplies that can buy you both a moment's reprieve. The narrow corridor twists and descends, pipes overhead dripping faint coolant droplets that hiss softly as they hit the floor. The dim glow of emergency panels casts long shadows, and the station's life support hum fluctuates, a fragile breath in the cold void. The survivor struggles beside you, favoring one side but presses onward. Ahead, the massive double doors of the cryo bay stand half open, frost clinging to their edges like forgotten ice. Beyond lies the eerie calm of dormant pods lining the walls, their cryogenic lights pulsing faintly, a stark contrast to the chaos outside. But the silence is not absolute. A distant clatter echoes somewhere deeper, a reminder that death, or worse, still stalks these halls. Resources: pulse pistol partially charged, medkit 1, combat knife, flashlight dim, adrenal stimulant used, rations limited. Health: survivor injured but moving. You remain watchful and wary. Trust growing but fragile.
Help the survivor to a pod for emergency stabilization.
You steady the survivor as you guide their stumbling form toward one of the cryopods. The cold shell is surprisingly smooth despite years of deferred maintenance, its interface flickering weakly but functional. With trembling hands, you access the pod's emergency override and begin the slow process of initiating stabilization protocols. A hiss of released coolant fogs the air as the pod door seals shut around the survivor's fragile frame. The pod's soft blue glow bathes them in eerie light, and you watch their shallow breathing begin to deepen, signs that the cryostasis is taking hold, at least temporarily arresting the worsening wounds. The stillness is deceptive. Outside the pod, the shadows press close, and distant metallic scrapes echo ever nearer. You have bought some time, but the station's nightmare is awakening again. Resources: pulse pistol partially charged, medkit 1, combat knife, flashlight dim, adrenal stimulant used, rations limited. Health: mental strain growing, physical exhaustion creeping in. Trust: a silent promise to protect the survivor rests heavy in your chest.
Fortify the area as best you can and prepare for the creature's return.
You take a deep breath, steeling yourself against the oppressive silence as you scan the cryobay for anything that can serve as a barricade or weapon. Nearby maintenance carts with heavy tools, thick cables hanging loose from the walls, and overturned crates offer crude but potentially effective materials. Methodically, you stack the carts against the doors and wedge metal rods along the seams, rigging whatever odd bits of broken machinery you can find to jam the entrance. The work is hurried but precise, the cold biting at your fingers despite your gloves. Your flashlight beam flickers uncertainly as shadows writhe beyond the weak emergency lighting. A distant scrape resonates through the vast chamber, deliberate, measured. The creature is coming back. You position yourself strategically behind the best cover you can find, pulse pistol ready, every nerve taut and alert for the inevitable. Resources: pulse pistol partially charged, medkit 1, combat knife, flashlight dim, adrenal stimulant used, rations limited. Health: exhausted but vigilant. Trust: a silent vow to protect the survivor in stasis, no matter the cost. The creature's scraping intensifies, a slow, chilling rhythm that echoes like a death knell. Time thins to expectancy. You've been listening to Unwritten on Snugly.cloud. Thank you for joining the story. Until next time, may your path be calm and your choices be yours.